Hey, peace and blessings, everyone. Brother Kyle here. I hope all is well. Just have a few thoughts that I want to share. Brother Monty, how you doing, sir? I want to talk about thinking for 7 generations of your family. Sister Terry, Sister Rita, how are you all? So thinking for 7 generations. And I got a special guest, so to speak, that's going to come on with me that I'm looking forward to seeing his name pop up so I can bring him into the stream. But, I just want to talk about us getting in the frame of mind of thinking into the future for our families, writing our family's history in advance. Sister Karen, because what we've been doing is we've been reactionary, and our families are just subject to whatever happens in the economy. It's like we don't have any control over what happens with our family and the trajectory. So I want to talk about thinking for 7 generations to position your family, your grandchildren's grandchildren, to be free. All right, I see my brother here. I want to bring him in. He can have this conversation with me. An esteemed individual. Let me see if we can get him on the stream. Brother Kevin. All right, Sister Sharita. Wa alaikum salam. Okay, we're bringing him in. Brother Demi, are you there? Brother Demi, the screen is blank, and I can't hear you. So you may need to. I'm not sure what's going on with. Try to come back in. Let me try to bring you back in. Try to bring my. Oh, there we go, Brother Demi. How you doing, sir?
Black man, how we doing? How we doing? How do I look to the world? I mean, can I be seen?
Well, we can see and hear you, but you're actually upside down. You're
okay.
Horizontal.
I think that's because that's the way yours. If you were going with me horizontally,
oh, okay.
It might. Yeah, but it's okay. So they may not be able to
now
see
you're
my
right
face.
Side up.
Right. Just
now
can't see
right
my face.
There we go. Perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So real quick, Brother Demi, I'm doing excellent. Just to let the people know, I'm sure most of the individuals may be familiar with you. Brother Demi is an incredible brother. This is my friend of years and my senior business partner. He's one of the first individuals in this Washington, D.C. area to get this information of KARATBARS International in his hands. And he was just a faithful messenger to start to invite some people to this information, and he has not stopped. And so, he's my business partner, and I'm just privileged to kind of bring him on the stream. I asked him if he would have this conversation with me, and he graciously said that he would. So, Brother Demi, I want to talk to the folks about thinking for 7 generations. And the reason I say 7 generations, there's a product line that sometimes my wife and I purchase. It's a cleaning product line for your home, and it's called 7th Generation. And the premise is that, the product is organic and the ingredients are very mindful of the effect that it has on the environment. So the marketing premise is that when you use that product, it takes into consideration the effect that product will have on the environment for 7 generations from now. So I'm saying that we have to start thinking like that, strategically, thinking out into the future, making the history of our family advance, where we're thinking and calculating, making financial moves for 7 generations of our family, Brother Demi.
Absolutely, brother. I mean, what a vital subject that you're touching on, brother. And for the majority, especially those coming out of the system, going into another system, that type of language is really foreign. But this is how,
Right.
especially us as parents, need to be thinking for the future of our children. Because the traditional system just has you thinking about what's present now. And actually, the future is now. So if we're thinking about generations to generations to generations, it's a whole completely different mindset where it's based on the future. So when you speak of a product, and I'm sorry, Brother Kyle, when I had connected with you, I had the podcast and it was kind of blocking your sound. So you said a few things that I didn't hear, but I'm just going based off the title of this stream. What are you thinking about when it comes to generations to come? If a person is hustling and bustling in a way that's never going to end, what type of legacy are you passing on to your children? That same mentality and that same type of hustle and bustle. It's different types of hustles and bustles. You're either going to hustle and bustle to be free, or you're going to hustle and bustle until the conversation, brother. Because if we're thinking generations to come, we have to be thinking assets. We have to be thinking, what can I pass into the future for
Right.
the little ones that have come after me? And I don't want to pass this type of work ethic down to my youth because it steals away one of my most valuable assets, which is our time.
Yes, sir. Brother Demi, I was thinking about it, that the Federal Reserve System, which created the modern, money system that we're all tapped into, can't get away from it. It was created in 1913, but the individuals that established it, they met to plan its creation in 1910, I believe. And it was just a few individuals that represented a few families that had a seat at that table. And when they were planning, Brother Demi, the establishment of the Federal Reserve, it was not about the money that necessarily they were going to make in 1913 or 14 or 15. It was about, they were thinking about the residuals for 100 years into the future
Wow.
of setting up this system that was going to pay them and their family residually every single time someone around the world touched a dollar bill. So
Wow.
it was about thinking for 7 generations, thinking residuals for their family, Brother Demi. So we have an opportunity now, and I want to pass it back off to you, but it just made me think about the opportunity that we have in KARATBARS with some of these packages to where you can literally, we have a package that is a profit sharing package where you literally pit yourself and your family in the position of being like a Rockefeller in reverse. Rockefeller was one of the families that was represented at the table in Jekyll Island when they met to create the Federal Reserve, to where every time a dollar moves, they get residuals. We have a package in KARATBARS, Brother Demi, to where literally it's a profit-sharing package where you get residuals in 127 countries every time cash gold is touched.
Now, so right, and let's just speaking of when it comes to that meeting on Jekyll Island, when it comes to 1913, these are dates right here in history right here. I don't see that the Federal Reserve may not be mentioned in the school system, but the type of language that you're using, Brother Kyle, is really confusing to the masses because they're in money, but they know nothing about money. They know nothing about the system that keeps them enslaved. Like you said, these individuals globally lead they have a system to enslave the entire world. And this is why we see the world going through situations, really going through depression and recession in areas around the world where paper money is starting to be discontinued, and this is based on the wickedness of the central bankers and what these governments are doing to the world. So you touched on a vital point,
Wow.
Brother Cal, but our people, and most people, even the ones with a PhD degree, a double master's degree, this is something what you've talked about. You're not going to chase cash. You're going to chase freedom. You're going to chase assets, because it's the assets that you can pass on into the future that you spoke of, the generations. So I know that I don't need to work hard for cash, but I need to work hard to develop assets so I can put that into the future. So to speed people up, ladies and gentlemen, I was just listening to a podcast today that Bernanke, who works for the Federal Reserve, his income is only $199,000 a year. You're printing money. You're sending individuals down. We're crashing. And I don't want to get too deep with this, but you work for the Federal Reserve System. You have a degree as an A student, but you still don't know nothing about money. And this is
Right.
right here, but you know, information. But we got to make it so simple with people just so we can bring them into the door and not get them away from what's going on, because right now we're in a system that's going out. See, we spoiled here in America, especially right here in Washington, D.C. We spoiled. We're ignoring what's going on in other areas. But you brought up such a good subject, Brother Kyle, and I want to go away from that, but now let's go into the light. You talked about an asset. You talked about profit sharing, that KARATBARS International, for someone who doesn't know what KARATBARS International is, it's a savings program for the individual who may be jumping on the stream. A savings have full control off of what you work hard for and diversify a portion of your cash into something that's real. And this is how the wealthy and the rich do. This is why the rich stay richer. I'm speaking to a sister the other day. She said, oh, I didn't know that the basketball players didn't own the team. Oh, no. It's the billionaires that own the team, and the basketball players are an asset to that individual owner. But when you understand what an asset is based off financial literacy. This is why most of our bankruptcy, while the master teach you how to develop an asset, you're going to have to branch out that system and learn what it takes to build wealth. So KARATBARS, which Brother Cal brought up, has a profit sharing opportunity where you can exchange cash for gold for one of our other products. We're the only investment when it comes to buying a business package, and you'll have a piece of an asset globally around the world as people exchange cash for cash gold. Brother Cal, I give it back to you, black man. Oh my gosh, there's just so much great things going on in this
But Brother
opportunity,
Demi,
brother.
it goes but it speaks to, again, thinking for 7 generations. It speaks to our frame of mind. You know, here in the Washington, D.C. area, Brother Demi, you know, we got a lot of folks who just believe that they're doing so well because we have these jobs with quote-unquote good salaries, these 6-figure jobs, even though you don't take home 6 figures after taxes.
Right,
But
right.
again, that is for this week. That's for now. That's not a willable part of your estate. You're not thinking for generations.
Correct. And you can think for generations coming out of the system. It's only a small percentage who get to thinking assets. So when you're coming out of the school system programs you for job security. The school system doesn't teach you how to build wealth. So you're not going to think like that. Even though all of the signs are around you, you may have a life insurance policy, and even without the right education, when you die, they tax you if that life insurance isn't placed under another asset, which is a trust. So it's just so much going on, Brother Cal, when it comes to our thinking today. So I'm starting to really humble myself to understand people's mindsets, but the signs are all around us. I'm understanding your mindset because it's based on working for the weekend, taking a vacation once or twice a year, okay? It's based on going to party and drink, okay? It's based on having a gathering that's not a gathering about wealth building, but it's a gathering about foolishness. So I understand your thinking, but it's time right now. This is probably the most profitable time in history because there's a wealth transfer taking place. So what does a wealth transfer mean? Well, we've had several market corrections throughout centuries. That wealth wasn't destroyed. That wealth was merely transferred to the ones who know 7 generations of wealth. They know how to take control of their wealth and pass it on to the future to their children. So in these times, Brother Cal, the language and the mindset that you're teaching on, this is what we have to, if we want to be rich, rich is not money, rich is not flashing cash on social media. That's a poor mindset. Rich is about gaining the knowledge and information to go into the future for those 7 generations of our children and their children's children. And just like President Trump has developed a trust called a dynasty trust. It's to make your children's rich to the future. But we're not thinking like that. We're thinking about now and the weekend.
Good God Almighty. Dynasty trust.
Dynasty trust, Brother Kyle. We're talking about it's a choice to be rich. We want to look good, but we're not going to put in that mental grind to do good. We're going to work forever to accumulate something that's going away. And it's gone away in history. There's no cash or fiat currency that's ever lasted, the US dollar being the longest standing fiat currency, but we haven't been educated on what to do with cash. So in that case, we buy materialistic things and we go into a liability lifestyle that steals our wealth, and then we invest as passive investors, not knowing nothing about either side of the game, Brother Cal. We on a side of the game that we know nothing about. We know nothing about money. Nothing about money. We need to study both sides, rich and, well, I don't want to study the poor side. I've been knowing the poor side all my life. I'm on that rich side now, black man.
Right. So, you know, Brother Demi, in this Washington, D.C. area, a lot of times we say that we have a very large black middle class. But then the flip side of that is that the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. So even though you may be in the so-called middle class, you're either going one way or the other.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, the middle class ended in 2000. Okay, when we had that first crash of this century, the .com crash, people lost about 70% of their wealth. So there's no more middle class, as you stated, Brother Kyle. The rich are getting richer. So if the rich are getting richer, and the number one thing is why they're getting richer is because they're not in school. They're not in school. So if the rich are getting richer, that means the poor are getting poor and the middle class is becoming poor because they're not investing correctly. So these things are imminent right now, but it doesn't, the sad thing about it is the average person can begin to build wealth. The middle class person, if they're willing to humble themselves and step out of that ego, the ego trip, and humble yourself to knowledge and information and stop being so dependent upon a job, they can save their financial future as well as their children for those 7 generations. So yeah, we have the so-called middle class in this area, but they're working for money. How can you be arrogant and you're working for money and money's not working for you?
And Robert Kiyosaki said the wealthy never work for money.
No, they don't work. They work for assets, and assets produce the cash flow. And by the assets producing the cash flow, they know that a percentage has to go into something that's real. God's money has been money for over 5,000 years. It's the only financial protection to protect you against any type of thing that's going on in the markets or going on in the economy globally. You try to go around the world with the US dollar, you might end up going to jail. But you go somewhere with gold, you will be accepted and the red carpet will be rolled out for you, Brother Cal. So we have to understand that the program that you spoke briefly about, KARATBARS, is the best program in the world, and I challenge anyone to sit down with you as a professional and show you why. Because you can't introduce me to no paper claim when I know paper is not real and paper's on its way out.
Absolutely. I mean, it's bar none. We are involved with the greatest business on the planet. Because at the end of the day, if you and your family and your children are going to be free, that is contingent upon having a network where other people's efforts are incorporated into your income. And our network in KARATBARS is a network of individuals who save money in gold.
That's it.
Everyone is doing things for money, Brother Demi, but at the end of the day, the money has to be converted into an appreciating asset.
It has to. It has to. But once again, Cal, I got to slow down. I understand. They don't know. They don't know. You can you can tell them to go to Google, and it's not speaking bad about anyone who's not knowledgeable about what we're doing, which is very simple, like Brother Cal says. But the information is out there. How do I preserve my wealth? Because this is the basis of your stream, preservation, 7 generations ahead. How do I preserve my wealth? Well, it's only 5 assets that do that. Artwork, precious metals, land, active real estate, and gold. So the information is out there for them. Google tells you, and it's the first thing on the top of the list. So if you want to pass your wealth on into the future for your children, it can't be in an asset that once upon a time the US dollar was equivalent to a gram of gold, and both of them would get you the same amount of bread, which was 5 to 6 loaves, and also $1 would almost fill up the grocery bag. But that same dollar from back then in 1930 will not even get you really anything unless you're gonna put some garbage in your body. It won't get you anything. So you sitting and telling me that I'm gonna go into the future with something that's been depreciating since it came off the gold standard in 1971? So we just have to wake up and stop thinking about now and then think about the future, especially for the little ones that we, by God's grace, brought into this world.
This was so deep, Brother Demi. To speak to your point, you know, our organization of entrepreneurs in KARATBARS is Wealth Builders Worldwide. And we have a call Monday through Saturday where we just huddle up as entrepreneurs and we listen to some inspirational material and some educational material and things like that. And we learned about a lady named Patricia Kluge, who was married to a billionaire. And she divorced the gentleman who she was married to and walked away with billions. And literally, in a matter of time, this lady who won billions of dollars from her divorce went bankrupt. She blew $1 billion and went bankrupt.
Wow, I
So
never heard
it's just principles. That's what we're talking about. It's principles that I don't care how much money is flowing. If these wealth principles are not being practiced, it's not going to be here for 2 generations, let alone for 7 generations.
Yes, sir. Well, once again, Brother Cal, it's a mindset. Everything is a mindset. It's about what does a person want to do. I always show that humble side of myself to understand what we've been through. We've been through a complete brainwashing that started in the womb. So I understand, and the trick was played on us when we were in school. So these things aren't taught to us. We're chasing something that's going away. We're chasing cash instead of chasing freedom. And gold is freedom. Gold can't be taxed. Gold is out of the hands of the central bankers. And that's why they save it. Gold is God's money. So this language is foreign. They take it They take it lightly, even though we drive past the stores that say bring your gold for cash. They're not going to resell
Right.
gold. They're going to put the gold away and take out the purity of that gold to save it for a sunny day. Because we're not planning for.
Quick question, Brother Demi. Quick question. And I don't want to, oh, it froze up a little bit. I hope I didn't cut you off. Are you there?
No, that
Okay.
wasn't you,
Quick
brother
question,
Kyle. I had a
Demi.
call come in.
Oh, okay. Quick question. And I probably shouldn't ask you this. This may go off on a tangent. But why is it that the poor and so-called middle class are so preoccupied with credit score? Because credit is not a willable. See, we're talking about thinking for 7 generations. Credit is not a willable part of your estate. Oh, lost Brother Demi. Let's see if we can get him back in. Let's see if we can get Demi back in. Brother Demi, we lost you off the stream, so I'm going to try to bring you back in. Let me see.
Brother Kyle,
There you go.
I think the call interrupted everything, brother. So I didn't hear anything you were saying. I do apologize.
Well, I was saying that, at the risk of taking us off on another tangent, and I don't want to do that. But why are the poor and so-called middle class, and I'm talking about a mentality. I'm not talking about, how much we may be making or anything like that. I'm talking about a mentality of people who are thinking for right now instead of thinking for 7 generations. Why are the poor and so-called middle class always preoccupied with credit and credit score when that's not a willable part of your estate?
Can you hear me, brother Kyle?
Yes.
I don't think anyone can hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Folks, if you don't mind, type if you can hear Demi. I can hear him. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, he went out. He may come back in. So, family, we're talking about thinking for 7 generations of your family, pitting us in position to be Rockefellers in reverse, where our children and our grandchildren have options. I mean, they're free. They are not filling out job applications. They go to college if they want to, and they're not having to get into debt. They are free to give expression to whatever they're inspired to do in life because we have positioned them through our thinking and our preparation to be free. Try to bring Brother Demi in one more time.
Brother Kyle.
You there, Brother Demi? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you're going to have to repeat what you were stating in reference to another channel. Yes, sir.
No, I was just asking the question, because we're talking about thinking for 7 generations. Why are people so preoccupied with credit score when that's not a willable part of your estate?
Repeat that now.
Why are people so preoccupied with my credit score, when that's not a willable part of your estate? Can you shed some light on that?
Well, I mean, as we know, there's 2 types of debt, and credit is all based on what debt can I go into to a certain extent, because a credit score will allow you to have a lower interest rate. But as we know, the rich are getting rich off debt and taxes. And you're right, it doesn't acquire a high credit score to go into the future. If you have any type of income coming in, you can most definitely be part of what we're doing. This is answering it to a certain point, Brother Kyle, with the worst credit score on the planet. You can still build wealth, build a network just like the wealthy do. open up a free gold savings account that doesn't want your social security number, just wants a picture of an ID. You can start building generational wealth. So it comes to credit score, match because it's not needed. But if you do want to go into so I don't really knock the person who's in a credit building opportunity, but I think that in life we need to do our best to get out of it because liabilities take money away from us. The mortgage, the car note, the credit card debt, the student loan debt, it's money leaving us. So in that case, you know, the credit score is important, but when it comes to building wealth, Brother Kyle, credit score is not important at all. But I'm not saying just go
Right.
do you and you know, make a bad name for yourself. But
Right.
what's a FICO score? A good dog, roof? That stuff's not important. The banker wants to know your income statement. They want to know how many assets
Right.
you have. Okay?
Right.
Versus liabilities. So once again, the credit score does come in play with certain things because you want your name to be good, but don't think that the credit score will hold you back from building wealth, especially in the simple program that we have. It won't. You can build an asset with KARATBARS International by saving an asset and building a network which is an asset, because a network will give you the cash flow to close out those liabilities and that bad debt that you have so that you can have a good credit score if it's going to make you feel good, but you don't need a credit score to build wealth. That's just it. You don't need it. So it's how we're bamboozled in this world. We're tricked. We're hoodwinked. They just rob us of our mind when it comes to building wealth. Just think, if they
Right.
taught you to build wealth, you wouldn't go get a job. You'd be working to build. You couldn't build their assets. You couldn't build their dreams. So that's right. Continue to work for money.
If you knew you could make a full-time income through a home-based business, would you be jumping out of bed to sit on the beltway every morning?
I mean, some people will, Brother Kyle. Most people will, because it's fear that keeps them back. They think they can't do nothing. The school system taught you to do it on your own when life is about team. Life is about working together. But the school system said, don't talk to your classmate. You're going to get in trouble. Okay? They took away all the right things to do in life. Communication is key. There's no rich person that's by himself. Wealth is not by itself. Poor is. Go ahead and be alone and do it on your own for the rest of your life and not create leverage for those generations to come, brother. So everything is opposite. You either going to face your fears and build wealth, or you're going to stay a slave and succumb to chasing that money and worrying about a credit score that does not hold you back from building wealth. It don't. I came into KARATBARS with, I don't even care this. I don't even mind saying it, with a credit score 500. But guess what? That thing jumping off now, because the asset that I'm building, by the grace of God, the cash flow is paying the debt off. Now it's close to 700. So does it take? And that's just real talk. That's just real talk. So it's the mindset that I had to develop by plugging into a system of people who I wanted to change lifestyles with, that I wanted to be like on their lifestyles. Brother Ty Best, Brother Mike Delco, Sister Sheila Abram, these leaders that we have that have freedom. So I plugged into a system that helped me discipline myself to go out here and get uncomfortable. Because you don't know uncomfortable yet. You don't know uncomfortable yet. Go ahead and take a journey over to Venezuela. That's uncomfortable. So you don't know uncomfortable yet. So get uncomfortable to get comfortable, because uncomfortability brings comfort. And I shared a post on that today. So if you don't know uncomfortable, so put yourself in position right now, because there's an amazing amazing wealth transfer taking place. They printed too much money. It's a bunch of cash out here. Go get it and come to us so you can learn what to do with KARATBARS International. We're going to show you what to do with the cash. Right, Brother Cal? It's a great thing, man.
You on fire, Brother Demi.
Hey, brother, it's a great thing because I want our people to build wealth. Once once KARATBARS gets in you, man, it's not about you. That's enough you selfish. Stop thinking about you. That's why you're going to stay where you are. If you start thinking about other people, but you bringing them something valuable, something that's solving a problem, you're going to get to your goals. So don't go out thinking about your credit score and paying this debt off. Go out saying, I'm going to go out and help somebody else do that. And yours going to come automatically. That's just how it is. How you think that all these wealthy people stay wealthy? They develop something that solves the problem, and they leverage your consumerism and your time. So we have an answer for you to solve everything out here. Everything out here we're solving in KARATBARS International. Every single problem that's out here. The only common denominator is the person in the mirror. That's it. That's it, black man. That is it. So if you want freedom, if you want to pass something on to your children, if you want cash flow, if you want financial protection, financial insurance, financial education, a network, leverage all over the world, KARATBARS is doing it. And we got the #1 umbrella in the financial world, and that's physical gold. Do your research. Do it. Do it. So any financial advisor that's listening to this, stop sending people down a rabbit hole. We destroy people's wealth by telling them to invest in the long term in a well-diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. You're crushing people's life with that stuff. Stop thinking about yourself and working for commissions and change your mind and come over here and work for freedom and help other people get theirs too. They crushing the world with this foolishness, man. So I'm sorry, Brother Kyle.
Wow. No, do not be sorry, Brother Demi. This is what it's all about, Brother Demi. KARATBARS, you become so rich when you come into this network because you're in a network of some incredible minds, Brother Demi. So I just appreciate everything that you're saying. You got me so fired up. I can't believe I'm actually in the library. I know I'm talking too loud. I'm probably about to get kicked out. But at any rate,
no, I'm right here,
Demi,
bro.
I appreciate you so much. In closing, I just want to say, for everyone who may be listening and those who are going to see this stream later on, join us in this network of gold savers in KARATBARS. There is absolutely no reason why any person should not open a free account. And if you want to make money, passive residual income, simply by sharing this information with your loved ones. So by all means, get back with me or get back with Brother Demi or whoever may have shared this with you, and let's plug you into this information. Brother Demi, I just want to pass it to you for your last closing remarks.
And I promise I'll be calmed down. I had some of that KARATBARS drug before I got on the stream, brother. So I can get a little hype, people, but we love you. We speak out of passion. The great thing about what we're doing with KARATBARS, we're not selling anything, we're not buying anything, but we're exchanging something. And to close this out, when I share this information with people, I say pull out $1 and I'm gonna pull out some gold. Let me get that $1 and I'm gonna give you this gold. That's all we do is exchange cash in for gold, and we put it away for a sunny day. And as we do that, we accumulate the best income that anyone can accumulate, which is residual passive income, and we save taxes while we're doing it. So use your job to fuel your future, but don't make your job the ending route. You build multiple streams of income, and KARATBARS allows you and helps you to build 7 streams of income. So ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your time. I apologize if I was yelling in your ear. Thank you, Brother Kyle, for allowing me on your stream, brother. Much love. Assalamu alaikum.
Appreciate you, Brother Demi. Wa alaikum salam. Peace and blessings, everyone.